much do you figure they'll run?
$69, the soft cover per book.
Per book.
Yeah. We're going to print that professionally into textbook and distribute it to libraries and universities. That will be probably selling $180 per hardcover.
The soft cover are spiral bound like that?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much,
You're quite
Dr.
welcome.
Merkl.
Beg pardon? The part 1 is already ready. Part 2 is going to be ready next week. It's 500 pictures altogether. It's an extension to Chondriana. It goes far beyond Chondriana. Actually, that book is going to show you multi-strand DNA. Very interesting. Because the difference between multiple-strand DNA and single-strand DNA, we're producing our single-strand DNA in the forbidden city in our nucleus. And then when we produce enough genetic material into the nucleoplasm, then the nucleus begins to divide and the cell begins to divide. And with the multistrand DNA, it's exactly opposite. The DNA lives outside the cell and loops, and from each loop a cell will form. And that will be part of the second book.
Dr. Merkl, thank you very much for being here. I have really learned a lot, and I believe I've been blessed to come in contact with you and the other affiliates that I've come in contact in the last, say, 6 to 8 months. The products have done a lot for me. I have several different conditions, but I would like to touch base on 3 conditions that I haven't heard discussed here today. And one is that I have a pigment problem, vitiligo, and I wondered if there was any reports that you have on that product or that condition.
I don't know exactly what type of pigment problem you have, but we had some people who had some pigment problem on the skin, and it was used successfully.
And how did you use
the
it?
Spray and the injection.
Okay. Also, I happen to have Sjogren's syndrome, which is involving the saliva glands to the body that helps digest your food and so forth. And I was wondering if you've had any studies done with people with this type of condition.
No, we haven't. But generally, if there's deficiencies and the cell's still there, the lard crystal should help to proliferate it.
Okay, and would that be the best solution to go with the injections?
Yes.
Okay. Also, if you have irritable bowel or colitis, is there anything that you know?
Not with lard crystals. There is one product which I told you came out from the cold fusion process, pentoxyhydrate, and that's being used for colitis, and also they're using it through colonics. They rinse out the colonics. And that product contains 86% oxygen. It's hydroperoxy groups, HO2. It's a very specific giant ring structure which is balanced with 6% protonic hydrogen, H+. And when the singlet oxygen is released, then the free radicals will also release, but the free radical will react with the H+ and form water. And that was one of the reasons the product was cleared for sale by the FDA in 1973. It's a very safe way of using oxygen. But it has a healing effect. The product has 1,500 square meter per gram surface area, 10 times more than the smallest particle known. The product is manufactured within the domain of the crystals. And it's a very unique process. It's a very high activity against Pseudomonas, both gram-negative and gram-positive. Extremely effective against E. coli. Like a tablespoon taken internally, it will knock out the worst kind of diarrhea in 10 minutes. And it will heal any wound or any lesion which doesn't want to heal, including infected diabetic ulcers, within days. but that it's a different product. It has nothing to do with live crystal.
And what was that product again?
Pentoxyhydrate.
Okay.
It was classified in 1974 because it's instantaneously neutralizing any gas, including nerve gas. But it was declassified later on.
Where would that be available at this time?
That's available, ordering it from me directly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Also, on skin cancer, would you suggest the life crystals being sprayed on the skin cancer?
Not really. On skin cancer, melanoma, they spraying, giving intravenously and also injected under the skin. We have a very interesting case in Juarez, Mexico. Dr. Villapando took a woman who was sent home from the state hospital to die. Half of her face was missing, the ear dropped off, and half the skull was missing, practically, not the skull, but the skull. The cancer either way, melanoma. And she went, and Dr. Villapando was taking a combination treatment of pentoxyhydrate and live crystal and Chondriana, and she's restored her face and her scalp. And she took a week and went back to the hospital, and they thought that she was a ghost. That was another reason why the recent contract we signed in Mexico, that they found out this patient and another patient who've been treated with the military hospital. That really triggered the group which started this major program in Mexico, spending $30 million to prove live crystal and Chondriana and have it approved by next spring. And the first country